Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all. No children. Wait, please, hang on. Don't do anything, please. This is the moment we've been waiting for since the start of this arc, since the start of this season. Shigaraki is awake, and by God, he is on smoke. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Loudmouth Grenadian. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to look at the latest episode of My Hero. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Like, comment, please. I need it. After today's episode, or the latest episode of My Hero, it's definitely going to be one for the books. Please, let's just get straight into it and join me in discussing what an episode we have just consumed. People who are looking to write good stories, good scenes, good moments, and episodic views. If you want to show the terrifying capabilities of your main villain, please use this episode as inspiration. Because my God, this is how you show what a threat a villain is. This is how you show how the stakes have risen due to the personal development of a villain, of the antagonist of the story. My word, I love the way they built up to it. From the first episode till now, it's just been this beautiful lead up to this crowning moment that is Shigaraki finally awakened, finally showing those what he can do. So, where we picked off, right? You got these side heroes, they're still dealing with the Nomu. Erasure wants to help, but because of his quirk, he can't spread out multiple places. And so Endeavor's, he's still handling the high-end Nomu. And he uses this cool looking attack called Hell Spider, which sort of does damage, but then he gets aided by Gran Torino, which arrives with backup. And so I forgot the hero's name, but he uses Deadlock to freeze one in place and they knock his head off. But of course it's a high-end Nomu, it regenerates, and Endeavor finish it off. I'm sorry, I'm going through it fast because I really want to talk about Shigaraki. Mike, he has the doctor, right? He's like, yo, we did it. Shigaraki's taken care of. We have nothing to worry about. Bro, he is wrong on so many levels. Shigaraki wakes up and the first thing he does is kills the nearest hero. Boom. Like it was nothing. Like he was an insignificant ant. Just disintegrates him. I think his name was like X something. Doesn't matter. He is dead. And just to prove how much of Black Force energy, if you will, thank you CJ the champ, he takes his cloak and he is looking like a pimp, looking like a top G, looking like he's got 20 Maseratis and all these Bugattis and all that. He is looking swanky, bro. It switches over to Tokoyami. Tokoyami knows that from last episode, Hawks is in trouble because fire is the weakness of Hawks' wings. So he wants to go and help him out. And he escapes from Fat Gum. And Fat Gum makes this comment that he is the first person to sort of escape his grip, which is sort of telling of Tokoyami's strength right now. And so Fat Gum, he lets the other kids out and he tells them to go and get help. I'm gonna go support Tokoyami. And so Tokoyami, he reaches Hawks and he saves him just before he's burnt to a crisp, to a little fried Kentucky Fried Hawk right now. He saves him. And Darby's like, look what your man did. He killed twice. Stabbed him in the back, bro. This is supposed to be your mentor, your hero. This is supposed to be the one you look up to, bro. Come on, man. But Tokoyami, he's a solid guy. He's got your back. He says, I don't care. The fire is making him weak. That's something to keep note of. Remember, Tokoyami's quirk is based in darkness, so stuff that gives him light, he's ultimately going to do worse in. And so, what Hawks is not unconscious, he's just weakened, can't do much. But he figures out that Darby, the reason why Darby keeps talking so much is because he needs time between bursts of heat. And so what happens is he figures, look, I'll tell you when, but you need to go. And he waits for the right moment and they go. But this is where you show the capabilities of your villains. Because the writer could have been like, okay, they escape. But the way they've written Darby is, he knew that the heroes would be watching, and so he faked it out. Yes, he needs time, but he faked the duration of time he needed. This is how you write competent villains in shows, in animes, in mangas, whatever. And he was about to take care of Tokoyami and Darby. If only Mount Lady, the giant hero, wasn't knocked over by the villain called Genten, who's basically like Todoroki, but he only has the ice bit. He's a very powerful user actually, and he creates this sort of like giant ice wall which knocks down Mount Lady and prevents Darby from killing Tokoyami, and Tokoyami manages to fly off. And Genten, he's sort of another villain to watch out for, because he organizes all the low-level thugs and tells them, look, the heroes want you to be disorganized and random. No. Fight so we can make a whole, so we can escape. Let's come together and fight to make an exit plan. Which shows, again, the capabilities of your villains. It's so easy to just make one villain so capable. But to show that even, maybe not the top echelon, but maybe like a level below, is some great villain work here. And so Tokoyami, he's upset. His mentor is like taken out. He's weak. He is sort of not capable of fighting at the moment. And Dark Shadow made the comment earlier saying, look, his back is singed. I don't think he can make any more feathers right about now. So we don't even know if Hawks can use his quirk at the moment. We switch over now to which is sad in a way, because Hawks is the number 2 hero, and so your number 2 and number 3, which is, what's her name, Mirko, my wife, my love, she's been taken out as well. So we have the number 2 and number 3 respectively being taken out of the fight. So that's something to keep in mind of this. It switches over to the villains in the underground basement, and Destro, he wants to get involved, but his feet were taken out during the blast because he has robotic feet from the fight he had with Shigaraki, and so he wants his fake feet so he can get involved. But everyone's in shock because when you turn around, Gigantomachia is awake. He knows that Shigaraki is also awake. We switch over now to the evacuation team, and it's nearly finished. Just a couple little civilians here and there. We have this nice little moment with Kachan. He's still being Kachan. He's still aggressive, still rude, where he was helping this elderly lady get to a bus, and this elderly lady, she wants to thank him, thank you for helping me. I'm old, I know I'm slow, but hey, have this sweet, right? And Kachan being Kachan is like, hey, no, get on the boat, you old bag. What are you doing? Get on the bus. What are you doing? You're holding up the queue. Just a nice little moment to show, Kachan being Kachan. And then suddenly, the voice for All For One speaks to Deku. He's like, Deku, something is coming. He is up. He is coming. You need to get ready. And this voice sort of points him to the hospital, and Deku realizes this is the voice of the first user, the first person to have, I think it's 1 for all? Yeah, 1 for all, not all for one, sorry. And this is just another thing that hypes up and shows off your villain, whereas where it shows even the hero's instinct is saying, bro, something is coming and you need to get out of here. And now we get to the best bit of this episode. When I tell you this might be my favorite episode of My Hero, this is the reason why. Shigaraki, he makes his move against the heroes. You ever see the news report of a tsunami or an earthquake or a fire? There's always an epicenter for that disaster. Shigaraki uses his quirk and becomes the epicenter of what's essentially a decay wave. That's probably not the name for it, but I'm just calling it that. This just absolute wave of destruction and terror caused by Shigaraki's evolutionized decay quirk. And it just disintegrates anything and everything around it. It's so beautifully animated, and the music to go with it just gives this atmosphere of terror and threat. Like no one is ready for what's about to go down. This is objectively a scary scene. If you were there right now, you would be dead. And this is how fast this thing goes. All the heroes are like, we need to leave. Gran Torino, he saves Mike and the doctor from being decayed, turned into rubble. He grabs them and they start flying out. The music is going hard. The heroes start to evacuate. But when the Nomus, they grab Eraserhead as they start to decay. And out from nowhere, one of Crush's shields sort of cuts Eraserhead's scarf to let him go. But when you look at Crust, he's been caught up in the decay. He's already been turned to stone and is drying up and crumbling away. So Crust is dead, but he used his last moments to save Eraserhead. That is both terrifying and such a pivotal moment. Just to show you the speed of which this wave is moving is terrifying. We move to the outside view now, because remember, they're just in sort of the basement area of the hospital, right? We move to the outside and this wave is going nuts. Multiple heroes, I'm pretty sure I saw like 5-6 heroes get killed in an instant when this wave hit them. Buildings are crumbling. Cars, trucks, furniture, anything and everything in his path is getting destroyed by this wave. People are dying right now. Deku, he attempts to use air shot to stop the wave, doesn't work. Todoraki tries to stop it with ice, doesn't work. This quirk is overpowering the other quirks. This hero, she tries to, what's the word I'm looking for? She tries to get in contact with the people at the hospital, you know, Endeavor, Eraserhead, Merkel, but she's getting no response. The belief is now they're all dead. We don't know yet. So what they resorted to doing now is, we can't stop this wave, but we could use our quirks to get as many people out of here. This is how you show that your villain is a danger. You do this by showing that they can't do anything to directly stop the villain. The best that they can do is use their abilities to get out, to get as far away from the damage as possible and leave the scene. It is that terrifying. And suddenly the quirk, it stops, and you just have this image of this big empty crater where everything that was once there is gone. Everything is done, dusted, decayed. no more. It is beautiful and terrifying at the same damn time. Sorry, we go into Shigaraki, and those quirky racing bullets he had was caught up, so he doesn't have that anymore. He complains that he has this headache and he's hearing the voice of Awful One telling him to do something, so we don't know what that's about. And the last thing of this episode is he activates Gigantomachia, because the thing with Gigantomachia is he only acts and he only moves when he has the specific permission of the leader. That's either Awful One or Shigaraki. And now that Shigaraki's awake, he's given the command to go wild and take it to the heroes. What a episode. As I said at the start, if you want to show how powerful and how threatening a villain is, this is how you do it. You scare the life of all those who go in to stop him, and you make sure they know that this is a challenge. What an episode. Maybe my favorite episode of the season so far, and we still have a lot of ways to go. Thank you for joining me. Please like, comment, subscribe. Every little helps. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.